Good evening, everybody. This is Jordan. I'm attempting my fifth attempt at this week 6 speech due to video sizing issues with YouTube. So we're going to give this one more shot. I'm going to be talking to you today about the rising costs of college tuition in the state of Texas. You have to forgive me if I look away a little bit. My sources are up on the screen here. I want to start off with the Eagle newspaper out of College Station, Texas, and this is in reference to Texas A&M University. Now, in President Obama's State of the Union address, he threatened universities with a reduction of federal funds if they didn't limit tuition increases. Now, with that being said, in 2003, the legislature deregulated tuition, allowing universities to set their own tuition in exchange for reduced funding. Now, according to an analysis of the university's budgets, tuition and fees accounted for 23% of A&M's revenue in 2002, while state appropriations or funding were at 34%. A decade later, tuition and fees accounted for 28%. Now that's up 5% over a decade, while the state's funding was at 24%, dropping 10%. They might seem like small numbers, but when you're looking at 10% of $40,000, that's an extra almost $5,000 you're paying per year for an education per year. Now, with that being said, I'd like to go to my second source, which is going to be KETK News, which is out of my hometown of Tyler, Texas. And it's, once again, speaking of the deregulation. However, last year Governor Perry proposed a $10,000 bachelor's degree. The board tells KETK News the idea is something that they are trying to pursue. My question is, why aren't all universities trying to pursue this? Not just the sub-campuses of UT Austin, the major university, or Texas A&M. If Texas A&M San Antonio and UT Tyler, UT Permian Basin, if they can do it, why can't the main campuses? It's a matter of money, and it's a matter of greed. So there's no excuse for it. Absolutely none. And according to the Dallas News, when this is posted September 22nd of 2012, Texas students are paying 55% more for tuition and fees at state universities a decade after the legislature lifted the tuition ban. Now, tuition is up 3% this school year from 2010 to 2011. The average cost for a typical semester of state resident is estimated at $75.33 this year at the University of Texas at Dallas. Once again, Governor Rick Perry speaks of a $10,000 bachelor's degree he's pushing universities to develop. And lawmakers are trying to boost financial aid. But if the economy's in the tank, gas is already through the roof, and federal funding is being cut. Why are they increasing tuition to put more strain on students to help better their lives in a failing economy? It's not fair to us. It's not fair to the taxpayers. And it's overly fair to the university. Going back to my previous source of Texas A&M, which is from the Eagle, posted April 15th of 2012, costs have increased. Take faculty salaries. For full-time professors, they increased 40% salary-wise. They put a 40% raise over a decade to Texas A&M professors, averaging out at $119,000. So you're telling me tuition goes up 10% over a decade and 40% salary increase for teachers? There's a disconnect, and a serious one. It needs to be fixed. There is no need to add $10,000 to $15,000 extra per year per student, and then your teachers get a 40% raise. It's absolutely ridiculous. For my last source, I'm going to go to the Wall Street Journal. This is published May 17th of 2012, and this is titled Dispute Over College Tuition Rolls Flagship Texas Campus. Now, at University of Texas at Austin, the average cost for the 2011-2012 school year was $9,792. Mr. Powers, who is the president of that campus, wants to raise tuition by 2.6% for in-state residents, bringing their fees to well over $10,000 per year. While the Board of Regents recently rejected the proposed increase, more increase is coming. Now, board members are appointed by Governor Perry, a graduate of rival Texas A&M. The governor believes that it isn't in the interest of most Texas universities to be continually raising their tuition rates. And Governor Perry's right. Going back to UT Permian Basin, from the same Wall Street Journal article, UT Permian Basin and Texas A&M San Antonio recently announced that starting next year they would offer degrees costing students no more than $10,000. According to Maria Hernandez Ferrier, the president of Texas A&M University San Antonio, higher education needs to take a look at itself. They need to look at efficiencies and make sure they're giving students the best bang for their buck. And I believe she's 100% correct. I also agree with Mr. Lindsay, a higher education specialist from the Texas Public Policy Foundation, stated that the school's willingness to offer a $10,000 degree underscores the fact that the moral high ground has shifted from the time when colleges considered it rash to question the value of their degrees. Whether they question the rashness of their degrees shouldn't be the point. It shouldn't be a matter of social standard. It shouldn't be a matter of lower class, middle class, upper class. It should be a matter of students trying to better themselves so that they can better this country. But in a failing economy, there's no way they can do that. And with the deregulation in effect since 2003, things have spiraled out of control. So in conclusion, I think that federal government should step in. Excuse me. I think federal government should step in and they should regulate based on the federal budget, the federal debt, how much state funding is being allowed. I think that the federal government should step in and regulate based on those three things, should regulate how much tuition rates are allowed to increase over the period of 5 to 10 years. And with that being said, I think that with that in effect, like that, my proposal being put into play, I think the cost of college tuition would significantly, the trend of increase would more than cut itself in half percentage-wise. But that's just my personal opinion, and that is why I just chose to discuss the rise of college tuition in the state of Texas. Thank you.